Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Christina and today is my rolling 10 project pan for 2023, the first update. This is our first monthly update and I'm actually really excited to get into this. My 2023 rolling 10 project pan is where I take 10 makeup items. I want to hit my goals on 23 items this year. So basically what I do is I just use the items. I keep track using a tally system, progress pictures, and by taking the weights of items as well. And that's how I kind of track how much use I'm getting out of everything. That way I can tell you guys, because I find it's just more interesting when there's numbers attached. If that's not your thing, I totally get it, but that is how I do this. So without further ado, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to see more of these. We do monthly updates for this project, and let's get into my 10 items. So I'm going to go in the order that they are on my spreadsheet. It just so happens that the order they're on my little like bullet journal spread is actually going to be all of the ones I haven't finished yet, and then all of the ones that I finished are at the bottom of the list. I don't know how that worked out, but that's what happened. First item I want to talk about is my BH Cosmetics Lip Gloss in the color Extra Foam, and it is settled on the side right now when I'm filming that. I'll take pictures once it's settled completely down at the bottom again. It was in my bag, my makeup bag, so that's why it's on the side. I ended up using this 8 times over the last month. That doesn't count for reapplication. There were multiple days in those 8 days where I was putting it on more than once. So it's crazy to me. This went so fast until I got to the bottom, and now I just feel like it's not moving at all. I just feel like it's never-ending product down here. So I don't know when this will be done. I wasn't expecting to have more than like 15 uses out of this, but now that I've gotten 8 more uses out of it, like 8 plus more uses out of it, I have no earthly idea how long this is going to take, which is so surprising. This has been in multiple project pans now, and I thought it would be an easy Gimme product, but apparently it just wants to hold on for forever. As of filming this, because I have to take my pictures later and the weights later, I will put them up on the screen for you. I don't know what the weight difference is, but I will make a visual for you guys so it's a little easier to digest. I'm hoping there was good movement weight-wise, but I just feel like there probably wasn't, because this is now a mysterious magical lip gloss. It is magical in a lot of ways. It apparently is never ending, and also it's just really beautiful. I am really happy that I'm getting, you know, the full use out of this. I do really enjoy this lip gloss, and we'll continue to use it and see what happens. The next one is one that I'm actually surprised I got as much use out of this as I did, because I don't go places very often. I know this sounds really sad, but like all of my favorite things are in my house, so I really only venture out when I have something planned, and sometimes I don't wear this lip gloss, this lipstick. But the next one is my Joas Macaron lipstick. I'm actually wearing it right now, and I did go out to the store earlier and I wore this out. Like, I had a full look today. I ended up using this 5 times over the last month, and I do think it's moved a little tiny bit, maybe not much. It also, in the pictures you might see that there's a dip in it. I accidentally dug my fingernail in it one day because the lid broke, which is one of the reasons I want to use this. The lid broke. This is an older lipstick, but there really isn't that much left in there. I think you guys can see, and I do believe it's moved maybe a tiny bit. So I'm hoping we can see movement with something, pictures or weight, something. I'm hoping someone else sees it. I think it's moved, but it's also just a really pretty lipstick in general. Like I said, I'm wearing it right now. It's a beautiful matte, like kind of raspberry berry tone, and super wearable, super easy to like throw with any look. It's a natural tone, and I love it, and I'm actually proud of myself for wearing this a good bit. Next item is a foundation, and when we rolled this into the project, there was no progress at all because it was basically new. I'd only used it a couple times. I have now used it 14 times in the last month, which is probably, I think, every day that I wore makeup except for maybe 1 or 2 days where I switched it up and wore something else. And that's my Catrice True Skin Foundation. Now, I do have to mix this. As you guys can see, this is way too pale for me. If I put this in my mixture of foundation too much, it makes me so pale. So it's definitely not the right shade for me. It is too light. Because I mix it and because I can't use too much of this without it turning me into a ghost, I don't use very much product when I use this, so just take that with a grain of salt with my progress and how many times I've used it. Like I said, I used it 14 times, and there is progress. It's about right here now, and when we rolled this in, there was absolutely none. I believe this bottle is too heavy for my scale, so we don't have any scale pictures that I can show you, no weights or anything, because this glass bottle is quite hefty, so it's too heavy for that. But we will be able to track it by movement, and I think foundation movement is one of my favorites to watch. because it's very satisfying to see it go down. But we do have movement now. I feel very accomplished that this is actually moving, and we'll keep trucking along. I think the combo that I'm doing the True Skin with the Essence Pretty Natural. This is a really nice combo. If you have both of these, I would highly recommend trying it out. Together, they last much longer on the skin than if they're on their own. They're just a really good combo. So that's how I've been using that. Next is a blush. This is my CoverGirl True Blend blush in the color, what color is this? Love Me. This is like a pink to gold shift blush, and it's super pretty. I think my goal with this was a number goal. I need to go back and watch my intro because I don't remember what I said, and I didn't write it down like I usually do. So I'll go back and I'll put it on the screen for you guys. I know I haven't hit the goal because I wouldn't ever make a goal this small, but for now, I've used this 12 times in the last month, which is actually a lot. We are slowly wearing away at the CoverGirl logo there. I think I said I wanted to just hit pan on this, not use it up, but yeah, definitely no pan showing. But again, I'll put it on the screen what I said my goal was. 12 times over the last month. It's pretty good progress. It's a really, really pretty blush. I wonder if I can swatch it and show you. I know swatching blushes isn't really a big thing, but there it is. It's really pretty, just flush on the cheeks. I've worn it again 12 times. I'm not wearing it today because I have another blush in a different project, but I do enjoy how this looks. It is pretty like shifty, so I do find not like it's shady. I realize shifty could mean that it's like a shady product. It's not. I mean, it shifts from pink to gold, and sometimes it can catch the light and be really intense. So I find that if I'm doing a more natural makeup day, I don't really like wearing this one because I feel like it makes it look not natural anymore because of how much gold can really shift through it. That's the only caveat with this. If I'm wearing a really natural look, I don't tend to gravitate towards that one. Next item is definitely one that's going to take all year. I can't remember if I said I wanted to finish this one either, but it's my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I've gone through multiples of these in the past, so I do know it takes pretty much a whole dedicated year to hit pan on one of these. Finishing it usually takes more than a year, but over the last month, I used it 16 times. So probably it was the majority of the times I wore makeup. I know there was a couple times, like when I filmed a video, I used a different bronzer, and a couple times I wanted to use other ones. But for the most part, I used this every time I did my makeup. And I still have some of like the wave pattern that's in this on the sides, but it is slowly wearing away in the center. So I'm not overly concerned that this will be difficult. This bronzer is one of the few that works for me all year, regardless of what shade I am. And I've always liked this one. It sits really pretty on the skin. It's not too warm. It's on my face right now. Next up is one that like I've been using and I find myself not wanting to use it because it's running out. And that's my Avatar The Last Airbender lip mask. This is the Uncle Iroh one. So it's scented or taste flavored like jasmine tea, and it's so low in there. I keep looking at the website. They have it still listed, but it's sold out. And I did the, email me if it comes back. I don't think they're ever going to bring it back. And if they do, it's going to be like a really quick thing that they do. I love this lip mask. I throw it on at night before I go to bed, and it stays on my lips pretty much all night. I wake up and my lips are pretty moisturized. I have like chronically dry lips all the time, it feels like. And if I use like one wrong product, my lips are like, over it. So I have to be really careful and make sure my lips stay pretty moisturized, and this does a phenomenal job. Another reason why I'm going to miss it. I used it 13 times over the last month. I think I actually used it more than that. I just didn't. It's harder for me to keep track because I put this on at night, but that's probably close, about 13 times, because I have another lip mask and another project that I use as well as other lip balms and stuff. But for the most part, I do try to put that on before bed every night, and I love it. And I'm gonna miss it when it's gone. It's very, very low in there, as you guys probably saw in the pictures. It's very upsetting. Next up is a powder, and I can never get this to sit flat, so hopefully I can get this better for a progress picture. But this is my Pacifica Cherry Blossom Loose Powder, and I adore this powder. It is so good. I can't remember where we started out. It was pretty full, and I've used a good bit. I do tend to use this right after doing my makeup, and then a couple times to touch up around my nose because I get really oily around my nostrils. So I tried to touch up there a couple times a day. You guys can already see I'm getting a little shiny just right here. It's not like my full T-zone. It's just around my nose. Maybe I touch my nose too much. I don't know. I wouldn't say maybe we're about a little over half is about where we are. A little over half on using this. I want to finish this one up just so I keep my powder cycling through. Again, I do really like this powder. It doesn't cling to dry spots. like, it just sets everything, it blurs everything, it's a good powder. I like it a lot. Over the last month, I used it 10 times, which seems low. I think I had another, oh, it's because I had another powder in my bag for a little bit before I put this one in. So 10 times on that one. Hopefully we can see some good weight movement on that one as well, but again, I'm not sure. And then moving into the last two products, and we will be rolling in new items to replace these as well. The first one that I want to talk about is my Wet n Wild primer. This is the Glass Correct, and if you're looking at this and thinking, that looks a little funny, it's because I cut the top off and scraped everything out because it got to the point where I couldn't squeeze anything out anymore, so I scraped it off and squeezed it into a Ziploc bag. And as you guys can see, this Ziploc bag looks really sad. Basically what I did is I scraped it into this corner and used it like a piping bag, like I was icing a cake. But hey, I got every single bit out. I finished it in 13 uses, and I like this primer. It doesn't do much for like longevity, but it does give your face a nice glow. So if you have dry skin like I do, well, I have like combo skin, but I have like dry outer portions of my face. This does a really great job of illuminating and helping you just look a little bit more radiant. I don't think it helps prolong your makeup in any way or make your makeup look nicer when it sits on it. I don't think it does any of that, but it does give a nice glow. Probably wouldn't be something I repurchase unless I really need something in a pinch for whatever reason or want something similar to this, and it won't break the bank because this is of course Wet n Wild, so it's super affordable. The second item I finished is my Pacifica perfume, which is over on my shelf still, so you guys know what it looks like. It's the, let me grab it. I'm being lazy. It's my Pacifica perfume in Silver Moon. Now there is a tiny bit still in there. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's like impossible to spray it out. I've been trying to angle it and spray it for days now, and I barely get anything out. So it's basically as done as I can get it without taking this lid off, which is what I'm gonna have to do for the rest of it. But for the sake of this video, it's done, because once I start pouring it out on my skin, I'm gonna waste a ton of it and it's gonna go in like 2 days. So I figured I'd just go ahead and throw it in to this because it doesn't technically spray anymore. And for a lot of people, that would be basically considered done. I am gonna get every little last bit out of there because you can take off the lid. But for the sake of the video, I'm gonna say that's done. And I ended up using that 13 times. Let's just add 15. Let's just do 2 more uses in there for my final tallies. So 15 uses out of this guy. You guys have heard me talk about this plenty of times. Again, this is the Pacifica Silver Moon one. This is vanilla, spices, and almond. And it smells so nice. My husband loves it when I wear that perfume because vanilla is kind of the scent I really like. I really gravitate towards it. I know it's really basic, but it's just such a good, warm, cozy smell. And that's no exception. I love these little Pacifica perfumes. They don't last an incredible long time on the skin, but they are drugstore technically. And they're more like a body spray rather than like a high-end perfume. So if you're looking for something that's gonna last all day and be stronger, this isn't for you. This is definitely pretty mild. For me, I know some people say they can pick up on the alcohol. I can't pick up on the alcohol in it, but I do know it doesn't last very long. That really depends on you. I don't mind it not lasting long because I tend to get scent headaches pretty easily. So if it lasts all day, I will probably get a headache. So for me, this works better, but for you, it may not. But it is one of my favorite body sprays. But so far we are at 2. We have finished 2 products out of the 23 that I want to finish or hit goals on for the year, and we're off to a really good start. So the 2 items I want to roll in to replace this are both kind of Gimme products, if I'm being honest. They're going to be pretty easy. This next one especially. This is my e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. There is such a small amount in here. I will probably finish this in 3 days, but hey, it gets my numbers up. It gets another primer out of here. I'm gonna do it. It's a Gimme product. Some of y'all will be like, really, Christina? But you know, it's gonna get finished regardless in like 3 days, so why not throw it in a project? So we're gonna throw in this one. This is, again, the Power Grip Primer. This is such a good primer. It doesn't quite trump the Dewy Pop Primer in my head, but they're basically the same thing. They're not that much different. And you can get this one all the time. I don't think they have the dewy one anymore, which is very upsetting. And then the second new item that I want to roll in is this. This is the Kaja Don't Settle Concealer. This is basically about halfway done. This shouldn't be hard either. This is a really nice concealer. Concealers are another thing that are like basically Gimme products because I don't have a large collection at all. I keep like 2 to 3 concealers at any given time at most. Right now I have 2. So why not, you know, work through this one. I think I bought this one at the beginning of last year, so for me, I'm like, yeah, that's a good amount of time. Let's just go ahead and get it out of here. Let's try some new concealers. Concealer is another thing I don't try very often, so if you have one that you really like, let me know down below. I like a medium coverage concealer that isn't heavy. If you can find a lightweight one, this one does a really good job, and I like it to be a little illuminating because I don't have dark circles, but I do get pretty tired looking eyes. So anything that illuminates and doesn't, you know, feel heavy under my eyes is what I'm looking for. So if you have any recommendations, let me know. But I do need to try some. But this is the second new item that I am rolling in, and that rounds us out back at 10 items to talk about for next month. And that, guys, is it. That is the first update for my Rolling 10 project pan. I'm really excited. I always enjoy doing my project pans, especially the year-long ones. So I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Hit that thumbs up button if you did. Also hit the subscribe button if you are new and haven't hit the button yet. And remember, there's always magic to be found, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!
Alright, ooh baby, just hold tight. We're up at the moonlight, believe in the magic. On side, we'll make it feel just right. Just look at that bright light, believe in the magic.